To our other top story now, more missile strikes on Iran as the U.S. and Israel hit thousands of targets, continuing their joint campaign after a successful operation to kill the country's supreme leader this weekend. New today, the U.S. Central Command now confirming 6 U.S. service members were killed in that operation. And today, the State Department is urging Americans in 14 countries in the Middle East to depart now. That includes Egypt, Iran, Iraq, Israel, and Saudi Arabia.
We have live team coverage in place. Alex Rozier is in Westwood with reaction from the Iranian community with deep ties back home. But let's begin with Jonathan Gonzalez. He's tracking the very latest from our newsroom. And Jonathan, President Trump here says this war could last anywhere between 4 to 5 weeks.
Yeah, that's right, Michael, at least 4 to 5 weeks. And he says the U.S. is prepared to go even longer. On one hand, President Trump has told Iranians to rise up and take back their government. Meanwhile, the Pentagon says regime change was never the goal here. Iran's new leadership says they will not negotiate with the U.S. as President Trump is still weighing putting boots on the ground.
Today, more explosions and smoke could be heard and seen across Tehran as the Trump administration promising the next phase of attacks will be even more punishing. Defense Secretary Pete Hegseth.
We didn't start this war, but under President Trump, we are finishing it. Their war on Americans has become our retribution against their Ayatollah.
Hegseth held his first press briefing since the start of the war, saying regime change was never the goal. Secretary of State Marco Rubio elaborating on that claim. He was on Capitol Hill today to brief the Gang of Eight.
The United States is conducting an operation to eliminate the threat of Iran's short-range ballistic missiles and the threat posed by their Navy, particularly to naval assets. That is what it is focused on doing right now, and it's doing quite successfully.
Iran is carrying out its own retribution. U.S. Central Command announcing today the number of American service members killed since the start of Operation Epic Fury has now risen to 6. Meanwhile, NBC's Richard Engel is on the ground in Israel, where 9 people were killed by an Iranian strike.
I'm now in the Israeli town of Beit Shemesh, which is just outside of Jerusalem, and this residential area took a direct hit by an Iranian ballistic missile. At least 9 people were killed here, and you can see how much damage a single ballistic missile can do if there is a direct hit.
In Kuwait, this video shows one of 3 U.S. F-15 fighter jets mistakenly taken down by Kuwait's air defense systems. All 6 aircrew ejected safely. President Trump speaking today, saying operations could last at least a month.
We projected 4 to 5 weeks, but we have capability to go far longer than that.
The president has told the Iranian people that this is their moment to take back their government, adding that Iran and U.S. officials are speaking, but Iran's new leadership is vowing not to negotiate with the United States and promising to continue its retaliation.
Now, publicly, administration officials are arguing that there was an imminent threat from Iran. They said that over the weekend. They said that is why they carried out these attacks when they did. But NBC News is now reporting that key congressional staff were briefed on the operation yesterday by Pentagon officials who told them there was no intelligence to suggest Iran was planning to strike U.S. forces in the region. In the newsroom, I'm Jonathan Gonzalez. Carolyn, we'll send it back to you.
All right, Jonathan, thank you for that. Well, people all over the world are following developments out of Iran, but for hundreds of thousands of people here in Southern California, it is deeply personal. The LA area is home to the largest number of people of Iranian descent outside of Iran. This was the turnout for a rally held in Westwood here on Sunday.
This is the best thing that could have ever happened to Iranians. I mean, this is the greatest moment in our history. I'm pretty sure a lot of Americans might not actually feel us, but this is what we wanted.
Now, while some are celebrating, many have told us they are worried about their loved ones in Iran. NBC4's Alex Rozier is in Westwood for us today, and he joins us now with that part of the story. Alex.
Carolyn, over the past few days, we've heard so much celebration from Iranians living here in Southern California, many of them who had been hoping for a regime change. But as this war begins in their home country, many are still concerned. Today, Iranian flags are displayed outside several businesses in Westwood. Chatur Abbas Bakery and Market is owned by Iranian immigrant Mohammed Ghaffarian.
This business I started 2019.
This morning he worked at his LA bakery, but with war underway in his home country, his heart is in Iran.
I am very happy because the U.S. and Israel, they try to help Iranian people to overthrow this regime.
Mohammed made clear he wants the regime to go, but he also wants his family and all innocent people to stay safe.
I have 3 brothers and 2 sisters. They are living in Tehran, but I couldn't have any communicate with them.
How are you feeling about that right now?
I feel terrible. I feel so bad.
Mohammed is one of many Iranian immigrants living in Southern California. Lily was out shopping in Westwood today.
I was there until I was 17, then moved to the States.
She hopes Americans understand what Iranians have endured under this regime.
What we've seen since the regime has been in power is bloodshed, wars, driven outside of the international community with all human rights violations. So we'd like to see that reversed or somehow.
Though many are hopeful change is on the way, right now people remain concerned.
No one likes war. I'm sure the U.S. doesn't want to be in war. Israel doesn't want to be in war. Certainly Iranians don't want to be in war. So anxiety is very high. You know, every minute we're concerned about loss of life on all sides. But we'd like to see an opening here, you know, coming out of this dark situation.
And we bring you back out live here looking at that large Iranian flag on Westwood Boulevard here in Los Angeles. The people we heard from today seem to share that feeling of concern and potential excitement over a regime change. The other thing many people shared with me today is that a free Iran will not just be good for Iran. They believe it will be good for the whole world. Reporting live in Westwood, I'm Alex Rozier, NBC4 News.
Alex, thank you. Strikes across the Middle East are forcing airlines to cancel thousands of flights, including many right here in Southern California. Well, this afternoon, some of those airlines operating out of LAX are reinstating limited flights to the Middle East. That said, many travelers say they are stuck, including one Southern California woman who is in Dubai on a work trip.
There was a massive explosion around 12:30 midnight right outside my window. There's kind of no option here. I did just hear that a couple of flights have started leaving. Emirates flights have started today, so that's good news, and I'm hoping that I can leave by the end of the week.
Well, this afternoon at LAX, flights to and from Dubai and Doha were on time. There was at least one cancellation to Tel Aviv. And our coverage continues with a look at security right here at home and the safety concerns arising as strikes continue in Iran. When we're not on the air, get the latest on the situation by downloading our free NBCLA app or visiting our website, NBCLA.com.